Welcome to AB Crafty. I'm Daniela, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a mason bee house to make it inviting and safe for my favorite pollinator. These bees are some of the first to emerge in the early spring, and best of all, they're solitary and super calm, so you don't have to worry about getting stung. I'm partnering with my friends over at Crown Bees for this video to show you how their houses can last for years with just a little maintenance. If you want to grab any of the supplies I'm using, I've linked them in the description below. You can use my code ABCRAFTY, and while it doesn't give you a discount this time, when you use my code, I do get to earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. It's a huge help to the channel and lets them know I sent you. I'm using this bee hotel from Crown Bees that I've had for a couple years now. This one is called the Bee Chalet, but as you can see, it could use some serious sprucing up. To start things off, I'm using 150 grit sandpaper to sand it down inside and out. This will help scuff it up to allow the oil to soak in. And I clearly haven't done much woodworking, as even though I did remember to wear a mask, I forgot just how much dust it creates, so I finished this up outside off camera. I then used a damp paper towel to wipe off the extra dust. The oil I'm using is also from Crown Bees, and it's Brazilian rosewood oil. I loved this stuff because it gives the wood a gorgeous finish while also protecting it. And of course, it's safe for bees. I had just received a cutting board oiling set from Clark's, so I wanted to try out their brush. Now, I swear, the instructions said that this was the brush to use with the oil, but as you can see, this will be the last time I take the instructions word for it. My common sense lost out here, but I made do and still use the brush to wipe on the oil. And then just use the spillage as a dipping spot to pick up more oil. Eventually, I gave up on the brush and used a towel, so just use a towel from the beginning, it's much easier. You'll also use way less oil that way, so the bottle of oil will actually last probably 2 uses. It's also much easier to get into all the nooks and crannies with the towel. It also helps to have small hands. I was so impressed with how beautiful it looked after such an easy restoration. Aside from the faded logo, it looked just like the first day I got it. I then left it outside for a week to dry out. By the way, you'll want to do this restoration about a month before you intend for the bees to use it. Mason bees are early spring pollinators, so you'll want the house ready to go as soon as the temperature is consistently around 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it's ready, it's time to fill it with reeds. The Crown Bees team does have natural reeds you can get, which I'll show you shortly. But if you want to save a few bucks and get creative with it, you can actually make your own. I consulted the team for this process, so this is Crown Bee Dave's approved way of making your own mason bee tubes. It's great because it means you can supplement your natural reeds with these DIY versions without worrying about the health of your bees. All you need is some basic printer paper, markers, tape, and a bit of air-dry clay. You'll want to cut your printer paper to 6 inches by 8 1/4 inches. I then used acrylic markers to color one side. And did I mess this part up? Absolutely. Make sure to color the edge along the long side, not the short side. So that's why some of my reeds ended up with a colored stripe down them. So the purpose of these colored ends is to provide some variation for the bees. If they're all the same, it's difficult for the bees to find the reed that's theirs. Just how if 10 cars are parked in a parking lot that are all the same, it would be difficult for you to identify which one's yours. So the colors can signal to them that that's their reed, or that they know their reed is 2 over from the light blue one, for example. Specifically, the colors you'll want to use are yellows, purples, pinks, blues, and greens, as these are the colors that mason bees can actually see. I did get carried away with the colors, so I did do a few that weren't these. To shape them, you'll want to grab a pen or pencil. It should be about 8 millimeters in diameter. I oddly don't have regular pencils in my house apparently, but I did have this set of Stabilo pens that were the perfect size. Place it along one of the short ends and roll the paper tightly around it. If you roll it slightly at an angle like I do here, simply unroll it and roll it again, keeping it straight. The paper should go around the pen 5 or 6 times. This is how I came up with the 8 1/4 inches. It will make it thick enough so that pests won't be able to puncture or eat through all the layers. Then the 6-inch length fits nicely in the bee house. The female will lay her eggs in a row inside the tubes, separating each one with a wall of clay. Once it's all rolled up, take some tape and tape it down the seam and remove the pen. Then repeat the process for all the other ones. Next, you want to seal off the back end of the tubes. I used air dry clay, but the team said Play-Doh is another option. To do this, I rolled a small ball of air dry clay and stuck it into the end, making sure it was completely sealed off. Sometimes the clay would go too far in, so I'd have to either try again or just add a little bit more. By the way, make sure you're sealing the non-colored end. The colored ends are the ones that'll be sticking out of the house. So here's how they look compared to the regular reeds. They should all be 6 inches long with an 8mm diameter hole. Now to fill the house. Similarly to how you want to color the ends of the reeds, you'll want to add additional cues for the mason bees by adding in other items. To make it look more natural, I grabbed some sticks from around my yard and broke them to roughly the same 6-inch length as the reeds. Then I alternated putting in the sticks and then the reeds, combining the natural and DIY reeds together. Doing it this way also allows the reeds to stick out different amounts, which again helps the bees find their own reed. I also added this bird guard, as I had issues in the past with reeds falling out. The standing theory is that it's birds or other critters removing them, so hopefully this guard will help prevent that. Lastly, I gave it a spritz of Crown Bee's Invite-A-Bee to help attract mason bees to the house. And keep in mind, this isn't just a one-season house. Once the mason bees finish their work, you can swap out these reeds for smaller 6mm ones and host leaf cutter bees all summer long. It's a great way to keep your garden thriving until fall. Now I just need to wait until the weather warms up enough to place my mason bee cocoons into the house. These bees are only active for about 4 to 6 weeks, so you want to make sure their house is perfect for that short window when they're working hard in your garden. And yes, you can actually get mason bee cocoons shipped to you, which is exactly how this whole process started for me a few years ago. So you can either simply have your house ready to go for your local bees, or add to the population and get some sent to you. So if you're ready to start raising your own mason bees, check out the link in the description for the cocoons and use code ABCRAFTY to let them know I sent you. I can't wait to see your bee houses in action. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more DIY gardening and crafting tutorials. And if you want to see what I'm up to day to day, be sure to follow me across my socials.